Hey everybody, this is GGB, co-host Peppers, coming back in the third quarter of action with the Mac in the Big 12. And does the Mac really need a touchdown on this drive or what? It's 17-point game. I mean, you haven't done anything since the first drive of the game offensively. The defense has really shut you down. They've got a pick six on you. I think any points at this point is crucial. And I mean, the defense kind of crumbled at the end of the half. So the Mac kind of needs something going offensively. And they're going to have to take a knee here. It turns out when Justin Tucker got time to rest his leg for the halftime, he gets just knock that one basically almost back of the end zone. Big Ben Roethlisberger's got to get out of his own head at this point. It's bad, Big Ben. You cannot be in your own head. You can't do it, my guy. You just cannot. Big Ben Roethlisberger, he needs to not throw picks. I mean, I think most of that's mental, honestly. So Big Ben Roethlisberger lines up with Roosevelt Nix in the backfield with him. Looks like it's going to go handoff to Kareem Hunt, who kind of bulldozes it up the middle for about 3 yards offensively. And man, is Mahomes hyped. And I think he should be. He's hyping up his offense. They're up by 17 at halftime. Now, again, you can't get too cocky at this point because the Mac does have the offensive firepower to come back in this game. And we saw it in the American at Mountain West. They were up by 11 in the fourth quarter, and the American made it scary near the end, took the lead and before Josh Allen kicked the go-ahead field goal. But Big Ben Roethlisberger scans the field. He fires it. And it was complete to Antonio Brown. And I guess just view him as the number one receiver because Kenny Golladay has been absolutely on clamps, which you got to admit has been impressive by Xavien Howard. He's just been locking down Kenny Golladay. He hardly has any catches. I mean, never mind, he doesn't have a catch. So Big Ben Roethlisberger is in shotgun. I think this is going to be a throw. I don't think this is going to be a run here. Actually, yeah, no, I'm right. Play action pass. Ben Roethlisberger has forever. He fires, and it's incomplete again to Kenny Golladay. And it's just been absolute lockdown by Xavien Howard. And I am the first to admit when a good corner's having a good game. Xavien Howard's having an absolute whale of a game. Absolutely locking down. I mean, he's doing everything he can to make sure his team can win. There's not much more he can do, locking down Kenny Golladay way he's had. So Big Ben Roethlisberger, they bring a blitz. He fires it short to Conklin, who picks up about 7 yards on that play. Brings up a 3rd and 2, so interesting decision here. What do you do? I think, personally, a slant to Antonio Brown has worked. I mean, it worked for a touchdown for the Big 12 and Sterling Shepard. So, I mean, Antonio Brown, slant here would make sense. Curls has been your absolute weakness. I feel like Tyler Conklin shouldn't be out of the question here, but they bring Roosevelt Nix onto the field. Interesting decision here. They go run with Roosevelt Nix, which is an even more interesting decision. And what's even cooler about that is he picks up the first down. Roosevelt Nix has been actually... Normally fullbacks don't make a huge difference, honestly. Fullbacks rarely come onto the field and make a significant impact on the game. Roosevelt Nix has kind of been on the field a lot, and he picks up the first down here on a key drive. You get, like, if you punt the ball back to the Big 12 and they score, I'd go as far to say this game's over. I mean, you can't go down by 24. 24 is at the point where it's the point of no return. I think 17's comebackable. 24 it's difficult. So bring 2 tight ends on the field. I think this might be a run. Actually, I think that's offsides. Is that offsides? That might be offsides. Actually, false start. Never mind. So that kind of sucks. And the penalties on Juriga. I think that's probably the replacement for Brandon Brooks, which means he's still not on the field, which means that's a somewhat serious injury, which kind of sucks if you're the Mac. That was the best player in your offense, by the way. Brandon Brooks was the best player on your offense, and you lost him. And losing your best player on offense at any given time sucks. So they bring 2 tight ends on the field, and Roosevelt Nix, which means it's probably going to be a run. If it's a pass, it's an insane pass, but Kareem Hunt really goes nowhere on the run. He really hasn't been able to go anywhere on the ground at all, which I believe it's something to do with the Big 12 defense and with the way they've been able to stop them on the ground. But I think it also has a decent amount to deal with the offensive line an inability to block, especially without Brandon Brooks on the floor. So they go run here with Kareem Hunt. He's able to strip a couple of tackles, but he's only able to get about 2 yards on the run. So brings up an interesting 3rd and 13. Again, I mean, it's interesting because you don't have your number one receiver's on lockdown. He has not had a catch all night. So basically forget Kenny Golladay over there. Antonio Brown's a maybe. I don't think Conklin can get 15 yards. So Big 12 brings a 4-man rush. Kareem Hunt gets the drop-off pass, but he's tackled. Brings up a 4th and 7. And you got to punt is the thing, too. You got to punt and hope your defense just stops them. See, it's hard because, I mean, Kareem Hunt's been able to pick up those first downs before, and it just didn't happen there. And again, I didn't list Kareem Hunt because I don't think he can get 13 yards and throw it to your running back. They go punt here with Sam Cock, and it's just, you got to pin him. And just hope your defense does better than it has the last 2 times it hit the field. I think Cock does pin him. He pins him at the 5-yard line. Pretty solid punt. But your defense has got to step up here. I mean, this is a do-or-die time. I thought the offense had to score, but if Mahomes scores a touchdown here, if it's a field goal, it's still 20 points. I mean, that's not horrible. You can still come back from that. I view 24 points down as the point of no return. It's kind of hard to come back from that spot if you're the Mac. But let's see what Mahomes was able to do here. Looks like it's going to be a run, but they never go standard formation, so you never know. 4-man rush, it looks like, for the Ravens, and they do go run here. He's ended up being tackled by number 96. That might be Joe Osman, but I'm not positive. No, Robert Spillane. I'm sorry. 2nd and 5. So obviously not a good way to start off your defensive set if you're the Mac Ravens. But looks like it's going to be a pretty significant blitz coming. I bet they drop out the 2 linebackers. Actually, they bring everyone, and it's going to be Khalil Mack with the sack. And I think, does that activate him? No, it doesn't activate him, I guess. But 3rd and 11, pretty big play. If you can force a punt here, you get pretty good field position if you're the Mac. Now, if you're the offense, you cannot take a sack here. You cannot give them that, because then it's 2-possession game. And, I mean, obviously you probably don't go for 2 points yet, but obviously you don't want to give them the safety if you're Mahomes in this offense. Obviously you're also hoping to pick up the first down, so you're kind of split in the middle. There's 77. Who are you? You're not Joe Osman. You're not Robert Spillane. But they bring the fullback on the field. They go run here, run to the outside. He ends up being tackled for about a 1-yard gain. Again, Dixon's almost at his 100-yard mark, and it's barely into the 3rd quarter. 4th and 10, that's going to force a Big 12 punt more than likely. It's going to give the Mac excellent field position. So the punt turned out to be a good decision for the Mac. I understand 4th and 7 was just too much. It was too much to go for, but it ends up giving you great field position if you're the Mac, and you kind of need that field position if you want to come back and win this game, especially with your best offensive player out with injury in Brandon Brooks. So let's see if they can get a good return here. They have a pretty solid return man, and I believe Kareem Hunt. So let's see what they can do. Not a great punt, so you're not much of a return, but you're going to be set up. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, Antonio Brown's return man. I don't know why I thought it was Kareem Hunt for a second, but 1st and 10, 48-yard line. Big Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, he has to do better. There's no other way to say that. He had that great opening drive, but after that, he's just kind of faded. He had the pick 6 late in the 2nd quarter where he could have completed the drive with a touchdown and tied the game at halftime. It ends up being a 14-point swing, and you got to score here. You're going down by 24 points. It's really bad. You can't really come back from that. So go run here with Kareem Hunt. He's stuffed, and it's just, at this point, do you just give up running the ball? You've run it 13 times for 17 yards. It's not working. I think at some point you just have to acknowledge that and just go to the air and then hope the ground is opened up that way. But I don't know. I feel like you have to go to Antonio Brown here. He's been your most explosive playmaker. Kenny Galladay's been on clamps. He goes actually draw here with Kareem Hunt. And again, that's Kwiatkowski, by the way. Yeah, he's a great run stopper at middle linebacker. But 3rd and 7. I mean, the run game is just not working. It's not there. So you have to go pass. I understand you have a little bit. You don't want to trust Big Ben Roethlisberger because he's made those big mistakes, but I think you have to. Otherwise, you have no chance of winning this game. 4-man rush, he fires it over the middle to Antonio Brown. Again, Antonio Brown is your most explosive playmaker. I mean, technically speaking, it's Kenny Golladay, but it's just he's been on clamps all night. Xavien Howard has done a great job of making sure he does not get the ball. And honestly, great play by Xavien Howard. He's probably the best player on this defense, but you have to go to your other players. So Kenny Galladay's on clamps, and Antonio Brown has to be that player. Tyler Conklin's been huge this game. But let's see what Roethlisberger does here. Hopefully it's not another run because it's just not working, John Harbaugh. And they go run again. And actually, Kareem Hunt, probably his best run of the day, 7 yards. He's not averaging 2 yards per carry yet. Maybe he'll get there. Actually, they bring Roosevelt Nix onto the field, so it's probably going to be a run again. So, if you're wondering, Roosevelt Nix is the fullback. He's from Kent State. Although it shows him in the huddle, but he doesn't seem to be on the field here. So, Tyler Conklin. They go run again with Kareem Hunt. Maybe it's getting going. Maybe the run game's getting hot a little bit. He has over 2 yards. Oh, carry. But it's actually seemed to heat up just a little bit here with the Mack. And let's see if they can get a touchdown here. Because if they get a touchdown, it's a 10-point game. And the American came back at 11-point deficit just in the fourth quarter. So it's a 7-point game. But, I mean, even a field goal here is huge. It makes it a 2-possession game. So they bring 2 tight ends onto the field for this one. Maybe Kenny Golladay can get it going here. They actually go run again with Kareem. He picks up about 4 yards on the play. Averaging a little bit over 2 yards a carry. I mean, that's not good stats for a running back, but for considering how horrible he's been for most of this game, he's starting to heat up a little bit, and that's kind of what we saw in the playing game against the FCS Division II, Division III. They had Eckler on clamps all night until the second half. So Big Ben Roethlisberger brings Roosevelt Nix onto the field. He actually has him run a pattern. He throws it short to Kareem Hunt, who's quickly tackled by Nick Kwiatkowski. And you can see why I've been raving about him so much. He has 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. And it's just, he's such a good run stopper. He matches up so well against a running back. I don't think he matches up as well against a tight end, but he's been absolutely great against Kareem Hunt tonight. And great tackler in the open field. I really love what Kwiatkowski brings to the table for this Big 12 defense. So let's see if they can hold it here on 3rd and 8. Now, the main thing is don't throw a pick, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Let's see what he brings here. I think you got to go to Antonio Brown. He's forever in the pocket. He throws it, fires it, touchdown. That's a touchdown to Kenny Golladay. Woo! And it's suddenly a 10-point game. I think that's his first catch, period. Not just his first receiving touchdown. That's his first catch of the game. Kenny Galladay's been on clamps, but he comes up when it's huge, 3rd and 8, and Big Ben Roethlisberger is able to. The offensive line did a great job there. Considering their best offensive lineman's down with an injury, he's able to have the time to go and find. I'm sorry, my mind's slipping. Kenny Golladay, and you can see that the moment that Xavien Howard isn't on him, you can see it. It was Chris Harris Jr. and Earl Thomas III that blew that coverage. It was all over. Kenny Golladay got the touchdown. So again, Xavien Howard still has his perfect night, really, of locking down Kenny Golladay, but they end up getting the touchdown regardless. And it's smart to go after the one time Xavien Howard isn't matched up on Kenny Golladay. Go after your best receiver. I mean, just do it. It makes a lot of sense. That's what I don't know what else to say. You have to go after the mismatches. And for instance, when Kenny Golladay doesn't have Xavien Howard on him, that's a mismatch. So Sam Sloman kicks it. Eats up. It's good. It's a 10-point ball game, my friends. And Man, just think if they had not thrown that pick six, like even if they don't get the touchdown, they just don't throw that pick six. Let's say at the very least, like they're able to drive down the field and get a touchdown. They're definitely using more time than the 30 seconds it took them to get that field goal. So at the very least, it's 17-24 if he doesn't make that huge error. It was a pretty huge error, by the way, for Big Ben Roethlisberger. The guy wasn't even close to open. So, looks like Sam Cock is here to kick this one off. And it makes sense because Samson's not a great kicker. So, Sam Cock to kick this one off. He boots it. He uses his little foot. He boots it almost out to the end zone, but he's able to return it. And he gets it all the way up to the 32-yard line. It's just, I mean, Tyler Lockett's that's what he started his career doing. He was a kick return specialist. Now, again, yeah, you can see that he started 15 carries for 88 yards since he's 2 carries for 6 yards. But that was a lot to do with he was in this end zone, and they kind of knew they were going to run it with him. So, yeah, I feel like those stats aren't exactly truthful. They've only had 1 possession so far, too. So I feel like Joe Mixon he's your best offensive player. He's been your best offensive player tonight. He's probably your best offensive player, period, other than Mahomes, obviously. But looks like 4-man rush here, although I wouldn't be like the linebacker looked like he was going in. They actually go read option. Mahomes takes it for about a 12-yard carry, actually a 13-yard carry. It's ruled. And suddenly, this is what happens when you give up a return to the 33-yard line. They're at the 45-yard line. They're almost at midfield. So, yeah, I feel like it's really disappointing if you're a Mac fan because the defense is really going to kill you. They've played well so far tonight. But at some point, Mahomes is going to get going. But I said that about Josh Allen, and I guess it turned out to be true. He went down the field and got the go-ahead field goal. But 1st and 10 from Mahomes. He's in shotgun formation like he always is. Mixon goes out on a rush, or a passing routine, I'm sorry. And Mark Andrews picks up a huge play down the field. And it just looks like they're going to get, at the very least, a field goal, maybe even a touchdown, which would suck. It would really suck if you're the Mac fan. You watched your team drive down the field and really had a great drive put together. And just to see this easily match, it would really kind of be heartbreaking. Jaleel Addae, I don't know who's matching up Jaleel Addae with Mark Andrews. I understand the linebackers with Mark Andrews, it's going to be a struggle. It really is going to be difficult to find one that matches up well against Mark Andrews, but I feel like a safety, you're never going to get it. So Mahomes goes shotgun here. He has time to pass. He fires it to Joe Mixon, who picks up the first down after an absolute trucking of a man. Absolutely destroyed him. I think he was out for revenge after the coin flip earlier. Mixon, after starting out unproductive in the air, has 6 receptions for 32 yards. Not to mention his 92 yards, I believe, at this point on the ground. So, really productive day for Joe Mixon. And again, I guess they took my advice early. They went to their 2 best offensive players, in my opinion, in Joe Mixon and Mark Andrews. I mean, respect to Jimmie Ward. He's been putting Tyler Lockett on clamps all night. But you got to go after your best offensive playmakers, and those are the 2. So Mahomes is going shotgun. He fires it to Sterling Shepard. At least this time he did not walk into the end zone. So that is a benefit to the Mac defense. 6 receptions for 58 yards, but I believe like 20 or 25 of those came off of that easy touchdown score with the slant. So, I mean, and he hasn't been hugely productive tonight, honestly. Really the main player you have to worry about is Mark Andrews near the red zone. I feel like everyone kind of knows that, but looks like they're going to bring a 5-man blitz here. Actually, they bring a 5-man blitz. I'm right. Okay. So they go Sterling Shepard on the slant yet again for a 1st and goal, and it's just, it kind of sucks because Sterling Shepard has been killing that slant all night long. There's at least 3 of his 7 catches have been on the slant. And he's just been absolutely murdering it here. They bring a fullback onto the field, and Andrew Beck out of Texas. So let's see what they do here. They go run, and Khalil Mack's able to get in there. He's just absolutely shrugged off by Joe Mixon, but they were able to make the stop there. I don't think Khalil Mack gets credit for that, but I don't believe that was Khalil Mack. But 2nd and goal at the very least. Do they go run here again? I don't think they go run. I think the Mac's going to end up bringing a blitz. They're going to go slant to Sterling Shepard. I think it goes slant to Sterling Shepard. It's been killing it all night. It actually goes curl to Mark Andrews, and it also works to perfection. It didn't matter. The matchup was going to be there regardless. Sean Murphy bunting on Sterling Shepard or whatever the linebacker they were able to find to try and cover Mark Andrews. And Big Ben Roethlisberger is just holding his head knowing, dang it, I got to go down and do what I just did at the 48-yard line and had trouble driving down the field doing it. I got to do that again just to get it to a 10-point game again. So, again, Mark Andrews is an absolute dominant player, and I think you kind of expected that heading into this game. It's almost the fourth quarter, too. It kind of sucks. You got to get the touchdown before the fourth quarter comes, and your defense has to step it up. They really do. That drive was really an embarrassment. It just seemed like it was easy. It was honestly simple for the Big 12. It just seemed like they were just like cruising down the field. Now, I wouldn't get too excited if I was the defense because you know you're going to have to go into that field soon. Oh, 77 is Max Crosby. I don't know why that slipped my mind. 77 is Max Crosby. It's been killing me all game. But they got to score. They really do have to score here. It's going to be up to a lot on that offense of the MAC. Let's see if they are able to do what I think they can. I really do believe they have the potential to be great. They put up 17 points, which I believe is more than they put up all last year against the Independents. Now, the Big 12 doesn't have as great a defense as the Independents does. Is it going to be able to chance to return? They do have a chance to return this. He gets it up to the 26-yard line. A yard more. He had to fight a lot more for it, though, but it doesn't matter. He's not going to be able to. He only sees the field on defense anyway, so, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just give your all on offense. The special teams, I guess. So 16-24, 194, 2 touchdowns and an interception. It's not a bad statistical day for Big Ben Roethlisberger, but you're going to need a lot. You're going to probably need a superhuman effort if we're going to be realistic here from Big Ben Roethlisberger. Now, it's not impossible. We got a superhuman effort from Kyle Allen against the Mountain West. Now, he came up a little bit short, but he made it a game near the end of it. We need that kind of performance from Big Ben Roethlisberger. He goes shotgun here. I don't know if you're going to run it. I don't think it makes sense to run it. They bring a blitz. He fires it short to Tyler Conklin, who is tackled for about a 7-yard gain. 7-yard gain on the play. A quick decision for Big Ben Roethlisberger. Saw the blitz, went to his big man. That's Tyler Conklin. That's what you should do every time. Although, I don't know, if Antonio Brown beats the guy deep, you might want to try and truck it deep. So they bring 2 tight ends on the field. They bring also Roosevelt next, so this is probably going to be a run here with Kareem Hunt. They do go run with Kareem. He ends up picking the first down and a little bit more. Ends up being 4 yards on the carry. Brings up a 1st and 10. So it looks like Roosevelt next is in the huddle again, but they tried to trick me last time with that little mind games they're trying to play with me. Roosevelt Nix ended up not being on the play next time. Let's see if he is this. He's not. So why the heck is he in the huddle, Madden, if he's not going to be in the play? Anyways, so they go run here. Well, actually, they go read option, and unfortunately, Roethlisberger only picks up 2 yards. Is anyone else having as much fun as I am watching Big Ben Roethlisberger run the read option? I think it's what makes the Ravens offense so much fun to watch with Big Ben Roethlisberger, but I also believe it's what's going to make the MAC not a serious contender until Sean McVay has a better season than John Harbaugh because they need the Rams offense. But Big Ben Roethlisberger has time. He scans the field. He throws it to Antonio Brown, but he's going to be about 4 yards short. Brings up a 3rd and 4. 201 passing yards for Big Ben Roethlisberger. But again, you need this first down. I mean, you need a touchdown at the very least. Not at the very least. You need to score at the very least. A field goal isn't the end of the world. Still makes it a 14-point ball game. But you need to score here. So Antonio Brown scans the field. He throws it short to Tyler Conklin. That makes sense. Tyler Conklin goes upfield. He fights for a little bit more. He was going to get tackled at 50. Fights 2 more yards than he probably should have gotten, 48. And we're coming near the end of this 3rd quarter. Guys, we're going to tune in tomorrow. We're going to get to see the end of this game. And it's going to be exciting to see if the MAC is able to pull off the upset or if the Big 12 hold on and they will move on and then hope and pray that the FCS Division II, Division III Bills lose to the Sun Belt, I believe, in the last game of the wildcard weekend, so they draw the Pac-12 because there's a big difference between the Pac-12 and the SEC. So Ben Roethlisberger goes empty set here. They bring a 4-man rush. He has a lot of time to scan the field. He throws it short to Conklin, and it's a nice pass. It was a nice pass. He got it right in there to Conklin. 2nd and 5. Conklin has 6 receptions for 61 yards. He's arguably been their most productive receiver. That's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Hey, everybody, this is GGB, Coast Member saying adios, amigos.